Hi, Marjorie Dybeck here with the Dybeck team at Douglas Elliman Real Estate. So we understand that you're facing some competition and your offer is now going to highest and best bidding. So what does that mean? So it basically means that they've gone out to all of the people who've bid on this property and they've now solicited one more offer from each competitor to try to help the seller have one offer that stands out amongst all the others. And so in that process, basically every single bidder in that process has to determine what this property is worth to them, and they should bid the price that is their no regrets price, the price that they would have no regrets if somebody bought the property out from underneath them, and they would be like, that's fine, I'm totally comfortable with that. So how do you get to that number? So one of the pitfalls that everybody falls into when they're in the highest and best situation is that it's unavoidable that you're going to try to psych out, like, what are the other people going to bid on this property? What's my competition doing? Try really, really hard to avoid that. And when you start to have your brain go in that direction, because it will, when your brain starts to go in that direction, try to rein it back and focus on what this property is worth to you, because that's really all that matters. It's the only thing you can control. You have absolutely no idea what this property is worth to anybody else, and so all you can focus on is what is this property worth to you. So the best way to get to that, we've found, is this it's a little bit of a game. So I recommend that you find someone that you can talk to, that you can sit down with for 15 minutes or whatever, and literally go through a process to try to figure out what your no regrets number is. So you want to, let's say the property, your first opening bid was $700,000. Have your friend say to you, if someone were to buy this property at $725,000, would you regret that you hadn't bid $727,000? And if the answer to that question is yes, then continue the process and have your friend say, so if somebody bought this property at $730,000, would you regret that you hadn't paid $732,000? And if the answer is yes, go up $5,000. If somebody were to have bought this property at $735,000, would you regret that you hadn't bid $737,000? And literally, one by one, slowly and methodically, out loud with another person, get to that number where you're like, I wouldn't pay 1 penny more than this number. Now, as you go through this process, you're going to, especially in the beginning, you're going to be like, this is really stupid. And at some point, you're going to start to think about all those other bidders. And again, bring your brain back to this process and go back to the exercise. And when you're in that, when you're just like, this is really stupid, and you say to your friend, listen, I wouldn't pay a penny more than $785,000 for this, not a penny more. Have your friend test you. Have him say to you, okay, if somebody bought this property at $790,000, would you regret that you didn't bid $792,000? And if the answer is yes, continue the process until you get to that number. And it works every single time. You will get to a number where if somebody outbid you, you wouldn't regret losing this property. If you don't play this game correctly, you might end up with regrets. And it's just, as an agent, to have a buyer say to us, oh my God, I really wanted that property and now I've lost it. It's agonizing to us as an agent. So this is the only way you can be sure that you're not going to have regrets. So it's really, really important you go through this process. And so anyway, it really does work. And I would also say that at the very end, when you get to that no regrets number, add like $1,400 to it. Don't end on a number that ends with 0000 or 5000. End on a number that ends with some quirky thing like, $6,400 or $1,400. It's a nice, it sort of gets you off of that something that somebody else might have landed on. So, and we've won many times. Our buyers have won many times just because they had added that little $1,400 amount to it. So it's a nice little trick to throw at the end. So hopefully you found this video beneficial. We're happy to help you through this process. If you want us to do the exercise with you on the phone, we're more than happy to do it. Please feel free to share this video if you have someone else who's going through this process as well. And just remember, the Dybeck team is always here for you. Thank you.